Living in Texas, playing on central ping has definitely been challenging, and if you follow me on Twitter, you definitely know I hate being at a ping disadvantage in Fortnite, but all is not lost for us 30 plus ping players. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today I want to share my top 5 tips for playing on high ping. But before we jump into it, I want to give a disclaimer, and I know some of you guys are going to say something like 30 to 50 ping isn't that bad. I play on 60 to 100 ping. Trust me, I know it sucks for a lot of us out there. Some of you guys in different regions that have kind of scuffed servers, but I definitely sympathize, and I think all of these tips will be something that can still help regardless. It sucks, it does, I know, ping is such an advantage in this game, but also, while we're on the topic, drop a like on the video and subscribe with post notifications on for all of my tips and hot takes on all things Fortnite. I would definitely appreciate it. Now, let's preface this video. Have you ever gotten into a box fight with a player only to have them take your wall first try and get a free elim on you? Yeah, me too. Epic has made an official, unofficial statement regarding the coin flip mechanic in Chapter 2, saying that it's working as intended, but I think all of us high ping players know a little bit better, and what does working as intended even mean? I mean, we barely started getting patch notes and they're not even very detailed, so who knows what the coin flip is or isn't doing, but I think it's pretty clear that it's not working the way that we would hope. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Tip number 1, the simple truth is this: the better your mechanics, the faster you are, the less ping disadvantages will actually matter. And it took me a while to get to this, but I think it's pretty objective, and I definitely think it's something you can see specifically from someone like Benji Fishy, who can place 4th in the NA East Cash Cup. So you have to keep moving, you have to be quick, expand into various boxes one by ones while avoiding as much damage as possible. That's really important. The more that you can force your enemy to chase you, the less comfortable they will be, and the more easily you can catch them making a mistake during their chase and land some damage. Tip number 2, don't be afraid to exploit into your opponent's box. Now, in my experience, being the aggressor on high ping is one of the hardest things to accomplish, actually more so than just being defensive inside of a box or playing behind a wall yourself. Mindlessly just pickaxing at a player's wall when you most likely won't be able to take it anyway is not only a waste of time, but it's a very easy way for your enemy to make an edit and land easy damage on you that can realistically cost you the game. Unfortunately, spike traps do exist and do a whopping 150 damage, but sometimes you just gotta psycho into someone's 1x1 and land that perfect shot to finish them off. Now, again, with this tip, I will say that you should probably not just do it without having any information about their health, but I definitely think that using the ramp exploit to jump inside someone's box is something that should be being utilized by not only just high ping players, but everybody. It's a really good trick. It really catches people off guard if you can do it quickly without telegraphing that you're going to do it, so practice it. Tip number 3, adopt a placement heavy mentality. Now, this tip might be a bit controversial because you can't always avoid fights, nor should you, but if you can adopt a healthy focus on placement points, this should build a skill set for earning points in a rather reliable way. This means developing an entire game plan from perfecting your drop spot, loot rotations, and having good positioning for late game. Again, this doesn't quite help you to deal with high ping or play around it, but it can help you sharpen a different skill set that's already in the game and needs to be, sharpened and worked on. That's pretty essential for success anyways. So as a high ping player, be one of those players that's kind of a little bit more strategic or analytical and think about your placement points so that way you can place a little bit better. Tip number 4, just uproot your life and move somewhere like Pennsylvania with low ping. No, I'm just kidding. Tip number 4 is actually a pretty common one that I've heard, but you have to be less predictable when box fighting. As a high ping player, I mean, we simply can't do the simple walk up to someone's wall, take it, and go for damage. I personally kind of hate this tip, but I think once you learn how to adopt this into your playstyle, it can actually go quite a long way. I personally do this in 2 specific ways. When being the aggressor on a box, I always go for control of the enemy's pyramid first. This kind of traps them inside their box and makes it to where they can't just build straight up and out, and then it kind of allows me to go for like some slow wall takes and a little bit of unpredictable play on the outside of their box. If I have control of a wall and like say my enemy's just right on the other side of it, I try not to be too predictable by just making a simple edit and going for a shot. I tend to slow myself down. I'll go for quick edit resets to see if I can bait their shot. I'll throw a ramp in their face, and I ultimately just try to change things up. I don't always try to do the same thing, and I really don't think there's like a black and white way of playing unpredictable, but change it up, try new things, and see what works. Now, last but not least, tip number 5, this one is definitely the most important, and I've personally kind of coined the explanation for it, I guess. You have to adopt a damage first approach to fighting. But what does this mean? I have found through VOD reviewing and changing my playstyle as well that baiting shots on enemies is a strong skill set for high ping players. Now I think baiting shots and being unpredictable is good for anybody, but specifically as a high ping player, you've got to think about it. We struggle to get enemy players' walls, so learn to fake it. You have to be the first one to land damage. Whether it's animation canceling a pickaxe swing or just being the first person that lands AR tags before committing to a fight, always try to be in control by having a health advantage because of the damage first approach. All in all, I think the sentiment is this: Epic says the coin flip is working. It's not. Having central ping or high ping is 100% a detriment, it's a disadvantage, and it makes the game unfair and frustrating. But you have to be objective and know that it's not enough to stop a player from being successful. And I personally struggle with this. It really makes me mad that I'm just naturally at a disadvantage, but at the same time, I personally do a lot better than a lot of players, and I watch players like Benji Fishy come on NA East and just stomp the whole ladder. So making small changes to your playstyle in order to secure kills and place higher in tournaments is essential. I hate dealing with high ping. I hate having to play around it. I hate being at a disadvantage just because I was born in Texas, but it is what it is, right? And I'm determined to be the best player that I can be. So that's the video. Like I said, I know some of these tips are pretty common knowledge, but I really wanted to focus on the damage first approach and teaching high ping players not to just sit still inside your box and expect results. Knowing how to bait shots, knowing how to be the person that is outplaying the other person mentally on the outside of a box, not just by swinging your pickaxe at them mindlessly, is really, really important. So keep those feet moving, work on your mechanics, be fast, learn to bait shots, and get your damage in first. So I want to pass it to you guys. What are some other tips and tricks you guys have for being a better high ping player? Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for checking out the video. Please do not leave without leaving a like. I appreciate it again, and I'll see you on the next video.
Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel the fire inside of me? Do you see the sparks that I'm setting free? Does the beat take you over? You just